Ever wonder what a retired Catholic bishop does in his spare time? We'll introduce you to one who makes sure he doesn't have any.
So I took the beef science course, got my certificate, bought 6 cows from the sheriff of Live County, and I became a rancher.
3 News will show you the story of a shepherd of souls who became a South Texas cattle rancher at the age of 86 and still finds time to share his strong opinions on just about everything. Tending a new flock, tomorrow on 3 News at 10.
The concept of retirement clearly means different things to different people, but coming up, a special report on an outspoken leader of the Corpus Christi Catholic Diocese back in the 80s and 90s who's not exactly kicking back.
Not at all. When Bishop Emeritus Rene Gracida says that he wouldn't have it any other way. Wait till you hear his secret to a long and healthy life. That's next.
When the spiritual leader of the Corpus Christi Catholic Diocese steps down at the mandatory retirement age of 75, you may picture that person as having the proverbial life of leisure, and indeed some bishops have chosen that path in their twilight years. But recently I caught up with one spiritual leader who has refused to go quietly into retirement. In fact, at the age of nearly 87, Bishop Emeritus Rene Gracida is more active than ever. We met up with him at his cattle and sheep ranch near Mathis for this special report.
Oh, what a good dog you are. You're a big mama. My big mama. Yes. Come on, big mama. She's waiting here for the sheep to come out. Look at them jump.
Things do happen pretty much on cue here at Rancho Milagro near Mathis. Milagro, of course, Spanish for miracle. When he was Bishop of Corpus Christi from 1983 to 1997, many said Rene Gracida was a walking miracle, a man who looked much younger than his 60-plus years. And unlike previous holders of that office, he was always willing to venture an opinion about anything. And that part of him hasn't changed.
I am highly opinionated.
That's true. Acknowledge that.
I acknowledge that.
These days, whether he's on his 240-acre ranch or at his bayfront residence in Corpus Christi, he vents those opinions in 2 separate internet blogs that he personally updates every day. His beliefs are intense, unabashedly conservative, and in some cases, way out of the mainstream. On Barack Obama, for example.
I'm convinced he's not an American citizen natural born, according to the definition of the United States Constitution.
And therefore, he says, Mr. Obama should have been disqualified early on. On the topic of terrorism.
We're going to have, I think, a major terrorist attack.
Abortion.
Well, naturally, I'm totally committed to fighting Roe versus Wade.
Tough one here. Pedophile priests.
A great sad chapter in the history of the Church in the United States, and now it seems also in other parts of the world.
Pope Benedict XVI.
Wonderful man. I love the man.
In light of that last topic I brought up, is there any reason for him to step down?
Absolutely not. He has done nothing, absolutely nothing.
Listen to his views on Islam and the Quran.
A strict, radical interpretation of the Quran leads to evil acts like Sharia, cutting off people's heads. Yes, it can lead to evil, a strict, radical interpretation.
He says, fortunately, most Muslims do not adhere to a strict interpretation of the Quran. And on the topic of war,
well, war is unfortunately a part of human nature. I was engaged in the war, in the Second World War, and I know that it's a horrible thing.
In fact, Gracida was a combat flight engineer during World War II, taking part in 32 bombing runs over Germany. He says he was helping to rid the world of an evil, namely National Socialism. Staying active intellectually and physically, those are Gracida's main priorities now. He has a part-time helper here at the ranch to do the heavy lifting, but he does everything else. Part of his formula for a long and happy life.
Secret to a long, healthy life is to stay active mentally and physically. Mentally and physically. And to be spiritually at peace all the time. To be spiritually at peace with God and with your fellow man.